Hello everybody, my name is Jared Adola, otherwise known as Brown Sugar, and this is my very first episode of my new podcast, the Undesired and Prescribed, UP for short. Today with me is my guest, Maria DiMucci.
Hi.
Today, Maria and I are going to be talking about our most underrated album. So Maria, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what your most underrated album is?
Alright, so I knew I wanted to do an album from King Krule because I would say overall he's a pretty underrated artist because you haven't even heard of him before.
Yeah, never heard of him before.
And he recently dropped an album in February of 2020.
Okay.
And it immediately became my favorite King Krule album. So I knew that's what I wanted to do, and it's called Man Alive. And it was dropped February 21st of 2020. Overall, it's probably, his worst performing album. He has 3 studio albums under the name King Krule. His real name is Archie Marshall, and he's from the UK. He's, from the south of London. And Man Alive, out of all the reviews I was reading, a lot of people were saying, they don't like it as much as his other albums, but for me, I found it to be, the most enjoyable, because his other ones were, kind of boring to me.
One-dimensional, or,
just, very slow.
Slow, okay.
Yeah, and, hard to follow, kind of, I know that was, kind of the point of them, but at the same time, it's, I just could not, sit through a whole album.
I can feel that. Even if the artist accomplishes what they're trying to get at,
artistically,
doesn't necessarily mean it's successful. So
yeah, artistically it was cool, but actually listening to it, it's I cannot sit through that. But Man Alive was different for me because I was able to listen to the whole thing and actually really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the reviews I read described the album as an album of disgust and despair, which automatically would throw a listener off, but to me that's I want to listen to that, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a very strange sound because he has such a thick London accent.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he's just he yells at you in his music, but I love that so much.
Yeah, the first time I was listening through, I'll be honest,
couldn't understand
not
him.
a single word. I can get out a couple phrases, but never a full sentence of what he was saying.
No, the longer you listen to him, though, the more you can translate his words.
Yeah.
But a lot of people described his music, or this album in general, as strange but euphoric and dreamlike, which I think is an accurate representation. But
I would definitely agree.
It's very strange.
It's I would say euphoric and dreamlike for sure, because there's it's in the middle part of the album, it's kind of like a dreamscape almost. That's the vibe I was getting when I was listening to it.
Dreamscape, but turned nightmare almost.
Yeah, it's a subtle nightmare though. Yeah. It's until you understand what he's saying and talking about, it's oh, that's
he's going
up.
insane. Yeah. Okay, so the album opens up with the song Cellular.
Yeah. And
basically that song is about disorder at home and abroad, and being submerged into a world of news and bad news, and not being able to do anything about it. And this is in the midst of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just hearing all this news about people being sick and dying, and just this disease spreading, and no, he can't do anything about it. And there's a lyric that says, "There's a massacre across the ocean, I can see it in the palm of my hands," which is yeah, there is a massacre across the ocean. People are dying left and right from this disease. And it's it's a crisis of self in the midst of world crisis, because he's also going through personal things on his own, trying to deal with growing up. He moved recently out of London, and he's trying to deal with having a different
Where did he move to?
He moved to, I believe it was Manchester, North Manchester.
Okay.
But
I don't know why my dumb ass always considers just London the country. So
yeah,
I was
yeah,
where did
no,
he move to? But yeah,
the UK is super small.
Yeah.
And he says, like, also, like, in the background, he's, like, keeps repeating, what am I good for, what am I good for, because he's, like, he can't do anything about the situation at hand. And honestly, I would describe that song as, like, very chaotic and, like, discomforting, but it's also, like, one of my favorites because it's, like, really fun to listen to me. Like, I don't know, there's so much going on, but it's, like, very, like, enjoyable. And then the second song, I don't actually know how to pronounce it, but I think it's Supermarché.
Supermarché?
But honestly, that's probably my least favorite song.
Really?
I think it is so, like, gross because he just talks about, like, child soldiers and, like, blood and, like, killing people. But it's also, like, a cry for help because it's, like, why is he, like, talking about that? Like, I don't know. Like, no normal person would be, like,
yeah,
children have weapons and are, like, killing each other. Like, I don't know. And I just think it's creepy, but...
When I was looking back through, like, songs, because, like I said, like, the first time listening through, I didn't understand most of the stuff. Like, I think that was, like, one of the songs that, like, I didn't go back over and look, so I didn't even know that's what the song was about.
I honestly didn't know until I, like, was researching this album, because I never, like, listened to that one.
Yeah.
But... a review described it as fraying at the edges sonically and philosophically, and I was like, yeah, like, that's literally what it is, because the song, like, is, like, crazy, like, the instrumentals in it, it's just, like, all over the place, and, like, yeah, it's basically fraying. And then the third song is Stoned Again, which is one of my favorites, but I don't know.
I like that, like,
I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you, but that one is so good to me. It's, like, nightmarish nostalgia of his childhood.
Yeah.
And, like, realizing that, like, smoking isn't all that it used to be for him, but he's, like, developed this dependence for it anyway. And, he keeps repeating, like, I think it's, I'm stoned again, like, all the, like, throughout the whole thing. And it's just, like, it's very fun to listen to. Because he's, like, starts, like, yelling and, like, I don't know. I enjoy that one. And it's, like, it's pretty intense, like, instrumentally, I would say.
Oh, yeah. A lot of these songs
are very intense.
I would say, like, when... Like, one of my aspects about the album itself that I liked was the way that, like, the intensity of the sound would, like, crescendo and then decrescendo and then would slowly start to... and, up, like, until it actually, like, ended.
So would his, like, lyrics and, like, the way he was, like, presenting his words. It was, like, he would, like, be calm, and then it, like, becomes, like, some intense, like, he's, like, screaming at... Not screaming, but, like, being very loud with you. But it's just, like, it makes, like... It, like, proves his point, or, like, gets his, like, message across.
Yeah.
And then the fourth song, Comet Face, it's... I think this is funny. It's about nighttime encounters with, like, partiers and, like, drugs and, like, drinking. Which, like, I don't know if you watched the music video for it, but the music video, he's, like, a wolf and, like, a werewolf, and it's just, like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of funny. But, he's, like, looking for meaning behind, like, partying, drinking, doing drugs. He's, like, looking for the meaning behind that. And it's, like, a pretty abstract and, like, loud song, I would say. And both Stoned Again and Comet Face are, like, kind of, like, self-sabotaging and, like, self-loathing, I would say. Because he's just, like... I don't know, like, he's just, like, reflecting and, like, why, like, do I do that? Like, why am I, like, setting myself up when I know I don't, like smoking anymore, but I, like, have to, or, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it was kind of interesting when I was reading about that. And then we moved to The Dream, which is, like, pretty slow compared to, like, the past two.
Yeah.
And honestly, this one is not one of my favorites. I think it's very, like... slow and, like, honestly agonizing to listen to, just because it's like why is it in here?
If it was meant to be, like, the transition song between, like, points of the album, I liked it for that. Yeah,
it's good for that, but, like, also it's just, like, it's like an interlude, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, there's just, like,
and it's like
I'm like, for me, interludes and albums are kind of, like, hit or miss.
Yeah.
But, like, I either really like them or really just don't care for them. This I like, when I first listened to it, I was like, this feels like the interlude. It feels like, you know, like the dropping off point.
Yeah.
And so for that reason,
it's good.
I liked it.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I guess I never thought about it like that. But it's kind of cute. But it's basically about, like, feelings of despair, and, like, he, like, can't make sense of anything. And he, like, it starts off, like, very dreamlike and, like, sleepy kind of, and then it becomes, like, nightmarish. Like, he's stuck in, like, this place and he can't really get out of it. Like, he's stuck in this, like, mental space.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move on to Perfecto Miserable, which is probably my favorite song off the album.
Really?
Yeah, I love this song
I'll be honest, that was not going to be my guess for your favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
This is, like, one of the standouts for me, even though when I was reading reviews, a lot of people were like, this, like, should not even be on the album. But the whole song is a voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the beginning, it's, like, the voicemail sounds, and, like, no one picks up, so he, like, starts talking.
And that's the part that stood out for me the most, was the voicemail part. And,
yeah. When I first listened to the album, I did not realize that, but, like, one night I was listening to it, and I was like, oh my god, like, it's a voicemail. Like, he's, like, leaving a message for someone. But it's about being lonely and, like, never feeling at peace with himself. And he, like, says, and in my silence, it's so menacing. And when I'm left alone, it's so damaging.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like, I don't, like, exactly relate to that, but I can, like, empathize with that. Because it's, like, I know a lot of people feel, like, when they're, like, alone, like, it's just, like, self-sabotage, and, like, they can't, like, get out of this, like, place.
That's like, we're a point where, like, I was able to, like, actually, like, connect with him, because, like, like you said, like, the first, like, couple of songs of the album that's like the 6th song, so
yeah, it's the 6th song.
Like, those first 5 songs, or, like, 4, I would say, like, I couldn't really connect with them because I'm not, like, a partier, like, I'm not, like, I don't like drugs or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't drink, like, ridiculously, but, like, it's, like, that was, like, the first time I was starting, like, I liked the first 4 songs, like, a lot, especially Comet Face, but, that was, like, the first one I was able to, like, connect with, like, on, like, when I went back through and, like, looked up, like, lyrics.
Yeah, this is definitely the one that I connect with the most. And, like, throughout the song, he gets, like, louder and angrier because he's, like, expressing his feelings to, like, whoever he's leaving this voicemail to. I'm assuming it's his, like, girlfriend, but...
Yeah.
And, like, I can relate to the lyrics when he says, like, you're my everything, like, you make me feel all right, because it's, like, it's so easy to, like, gain a dependence on, like, a person and, like, get your happiness from them and, like, I don't know, like, expect, like, things from them to, like, make you feel, like, good. And then, like, when you don't have them anymore, it's, like, what do I have now?
Exactly.
Like, that's how you feel, like, after a breakup.
Yeah, that's, like, literally, like, why, like, that one, like, connects to me, like, so much is because, like, when it comes to, like, love and stuff like that, when you do get that dependency on somebody and then it's just, like, taken away from you, or or it's like it's been, like, being chipped away at, and you don't notice it at first, but then when you start noticing, you're like, well, fuck, and all this other stuff to go along with it. But that's why I connected with it. But, like, the thing that, like, resonated with me the most, because you already mentioned that part of the song where he's talking about is, like, getting, like, gets, like, angry or louder or whatever. Just, like, for me, like, I took that as it's just like he's had this bottle up for so long, and then, like, for me, personally speaking, when I have something, like, bottled up for so long, and then I start talking about, you know, just, like, a little bit of it, because you don't want to give it all at once, you know, you start getting...
You just keep going.
You just keep going, it's just a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, like hate behind... Not hate, but, like it's just, like, pent-up aggression, I would say.
Yeah. No, it's, like... It's definitely, like, the most relatable song on the album for me.
Yeah.
And, like, just, like... not being enough for yourself, like, I don't know, like, I just feel like everyone has felt like that before. And also the fact that it's, like, a voicemail, so, like, the person he was trying to talk to about it, like, didn't even answer, like, I don't know, like, it just makes me, like, mad for him. Like, I, like, relate to him. I don't know, I think that's, like, one of the best songs.
I would agree, it's up there for me.
And then we get to the middle of the album, and with the song Alone Omen 3, and that song... Well, actually, the transition between Perfecto Miserable and Alone Omen 3 is, like, the best thing ever to me. I like that.
The main reason why I remember the name of the song is strictly because of the transition. I had to, like, look up to see if this is the same song. And
because it's, like, it perfectly, like, flows together.
It was a very well executed transition,
Yes. I remember, like, the first time I listened to it, like, I stayed up to listen to the album, like, when it dropped, and I heard that, and I was just like, oh my god, like, this man is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is very different from Perfecto Miserable because it's about coming to terms with being alone and, like, finding comfort with yourself, which is, like, completely the opposite of the previous song. But, like, it's finding comfort in things that typically wouldn't be comforting. And it's encouraging like self-discovery and like exploring like yourself and like things on your own.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere in an interview, I don't know if he was talking about the song, but like I just thought this was kind of cool. He said, how can an airplane make moving at 500 miles per hour feel like a gentle drift? Which is like, I don't know, like I just feel like that fits with the song because it's like,
yeah.
I don't know, I just find that like to be very like thought-provoking. But anyway,
definitely.
It's a very like cinematic song, and the music video for it is very good. I don't know if you watched it, but
that would be like, I think that's like the one thing I did forget to do, is because I know we like in our like pre-discussion.
We were planning this, guys.
Yeah. I definitely we mentioned that like towards like the end of that conversation. Yeah. But I definitely forgot to look up music videos.
Well, I recommend looking them up because they're very like artistic.
Yeah, definitely will.
But after Alone Omen 3, we have Slinky, which is like a very calm song.
I love that name too, by the way.
Slinky is so cute, I know. I
just love the names. The word Slinky in general.
It's just cute.
Yeah.
But it has like a very good like guitar, like I don't know if it's called like a riff, but like it has like very like nice instrumentals in it.
I think I made a note of, I don't know if it was about that. No, different song.
Okay.
Continue, sorry.
But that song is about like dealing with his depression and helping like how he like dealt with things and figured things out. And like I read in an interview that it's like him giving advice to his girlfriend about how to like deal with hers, which is like kind of cute but also like very sad at the same time.
Oh yeah.
But he says in there, he's like, the prisoner's skull, the prisoner's brains, and it's just like, that kind of reminds me of like a Frank Ocean lyric, but we're not gonna get into that. Like at the end of White Ferrari when he's like,
that's what I just thought when you said it too.
But that's basically like being stuck in your own mind and like not being able to like escape those like mental health issues.
Yeah.
Which he obviously struggles a lot with. And then we have Airport Antenatal Airplane, I think is how you say it, which is one of my favorites also. I love that song so much. And it's a love letter to his newborn daughter.
So cute.
He like when he started recording the album, he found out his girlfriend was pregnant. So like it like a lot of the album is like also coming to terms with like that, and like you're no longer like some like teenage like kid, like you have like a child coming.
You have responsibility. Somebody depending on you.
But this is like the most joyous he's ever sounded like in a song, because it's just like a really cute song. I don't know if you liked that one, but
I did like it. I typically, for me, when it comes to like listening to albums, for some reason I tend to gravitate more to the first half of the album and kind of like start to like dip off and lose interest, which is why I like shorter albums more, because I don't have the fucking attention span. But I was like, I found myself like still just as invested towards the very end. But I remember that. But like, what I was going to ask is because also you had mentioned that there's like it's like a difference in like you said like some songs shouldn't have been, people thought that certain songs should have been left off the album because they just don't match like the tone of the the first like half of the album. Is this like the start of those like songs?
Yes. So those songs started pretty much with like Perfecto Miserable is like the very first song, but then you get into like Alone Omen 3, which is a little more like not upbeat but like energetic, and then you get into these more like atmospheric songs at the end. And a lot of people thought that like the like shift in tone was because like he had a daughter and like he like was just trying to finish the album and like didn't put effort into it. But personally, I really like that it like changes.
It changes it, yeah.
I don't know. I find it like easier to listen to, because if every song was so like aggressive like the beginning, it would be like I can't like handle that.
I think it's important for like when you're talking about like this difference between great and good albums, for me is like not obviously like the ability for me to like listen all the way through and stuff like that, but it's just like having like not being one dimensional, and like every song would be about like dealing with addiction, mental health, depressing stuff, and
like
stuff
it has
like
to
that.
have like something to like draw me in more and be like, oh, like this is cool, like he changes the tone, like I want to listen to this more.
Yeah, and it's also like kind of like, I don't want to say like refreshing. It's just like it's kind of nice that there's like somewhat of like he starts getting like happier and stuff like that.
Yes.
Just,
it's like coming to terms with like the situation, which is like refreshing and like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like gives you a breather kind of like, oh, like he's getting better.
It's like he's like constantly talking about self-isolation, self-sabotaging, all this other jazz in like the first the first half of the album. But now he's like, well, he can't be as self-isolating. He has like a kid coming on the way, and he's like, it's like it's like noticeable in the music, I feel like, which is good because like I'm like, you
want to see him like be
want a happy
better.
ending, like we all want happy endings.
Yeah, so, exactly. Like, and a lot of people that's why they didn't like the album, is they think that it's thrown together. Mm-hmm. But personally, I think that's what makes it such a good album.
I think it's well curated, I would say.
Yes, like I think the track list is perfectly like set up. But yes, Airport, Antenatal Airplane is like one of my top like 5 songs. Mm-hmm. And then we have Drag On, which actually, this song is kind of fun because it's inspired by a French film called The Fantastic Planet. Mm-hmm. I don't know, this was in a YouTube video I watched. But this French film, The Fantastic Planet, and it follows the race of like these small humans called Ohms. Yeah. And then they're kept as pets by like these big blue giants called Drags, which kind of ties to the title of the song, because like they spell drag weird, and they say like, don't let the dragon like drag on. Okay, yeah. So like it's I don't know. Like,
I was wondering where it originated from, in all honesty, but I didn't like look it up because I figured you'd be telling me.
The cover art I also think is inspired from that film, but I can't remember, so I don't want to like say that. Yeah. Not be right, but that's like a very sleepy song to me, and it's not one that like specifically like sticks out like, ooh, like I want to listen to this one again, but like it definitely plays like a role in the album because he emphasizes with those that like feel the same way as him, and like he like emphasizes with like, I guess you would call like the antagonists, like the people that like aren't always the most happy, like aren't the best, like mentally and physically, and like not exactly people like you would like want to be friends with, but he like emphasizes with those people, and it's like, yeah, like I have been like that, and like it's easy to be like that, and talks about like how being oppressed by your environment like can make such like an impact on like how you are as a person. But honestly, like I can't even remember what that song sounds like because I don't like pay attention to it that much. I don't know if that's bad to say, but
no, I mean, it's just like always to like some degree, like when it comes to like albums and stuff like that, we have like our own personal skips.
Yeah, like our favorites.
Even if we say that an album is no skips, there's
always a skip.
There's always some skip. We might not want to admit it. Yeah. But yeah.
And then we have Theme for the Cross, which is like a very slow song. Like it's like a lot of instrumentals, but I think they're like so like beautifully done, and like I enjoyed that. But then like
his instrumentals on this album were fucking amazing. Yeah, that's like the very first thing I noticed and took notes on. I was like,
and he wrote every song.
He did?
Yeah, like they're all like written by him, which I think is very impressive. But like no, he like really like takes like not charge, but like he pays attention to his instrumentals, and like he wants it to like sound like a certain way, and like he won't like stop until like it sounds like that. Mm-hmm. But it's like very pretty and dreamy, but at the end it just becomes him like rambling about something. I honestly don't listen to it, and then like cars passing by, and it's just like, okay, like I don't really know what it's doing there, but it's pretty at the beginning. So, and then we come to like the best song on the album, in my opinion, Underclass. So good. It's like very romantic, but which is like hard to pick up on. Yeah. But he says like, she was like nothing ever made me feel the way you do. And this is, I'm assuming, like a song for his girlfriend, like the mother of his child. And like he talks about like, despite like demons that you may have, like you have to prevail on and like fight for like what you love, and like just like find the good in like every bad situation. And I just love this song so much, and like it's very like jazzy, which I think is like fun. And I remember like listening to this song when it first came out. Like, I was in the car and I had my AirPods in and I was just like, wow, like, I love this song so much. And I was just, like, so happy. I was, like, looking out the window. It was so good. And then we have Energy Fleets, which I can, like, hear the instrumentals in my head, and I, like, I don't know.
It's always the best when you can hear, like, the instrument. Like, you can, like, hear it.
Yeah. And I heard this on TikTok the other day. I heard this song on TikTok the other day. I was like, no way it's on TikTok. Kind of hurt, but...
You go big.
Yeah.
Because if you go big on it, like, on a TikTok...
But there was, like, hardly any videos made under it, which I'm like, thank God. I don't want...
Just get Carly to do one. I'll go
yeah.
big then.
The Big Toe has to make a TikTok video to Energy Fleets.
Follow the Big Toe on TikTok. Plug for Carly.
Yes. But anyway, that song is about how strange life is and how, like, things happen when they're supposed to, even though, like, it may not feel like it, which, like, sounds very corny, but, like, it's not said like that in the song because he, like, presents his everything in, like, such a strange, like, but, like, charming way.
Yeah.
But this is also, like, a dreamy song that, like, turns intense. And it's just, like, basically, like, coming to terms with, like, yeah, I did this, I felt like this at one point, but, like, I'm moving on, my life is continuing, and, like, things are happening that are meant to happen. Cleo is eating. It's so cute. And then we finally come to our last song, which is Please Complete Thee, which is, like, honestly, like, kind of sad. Like, it kind of, like, pulls at my heartstrings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, like, such a sad way to, like, end the album, but it's just about, like, needing someone to make him feel complete, which is, like, no one would ever want to admit, like, that they need someone, but, like, everyone needs someone.
Everybody.
And, like, there's a part that he says, he goes, "What stars are you under?" And, like, I don't know, I just think that's very, like, I just, like, resonate with that, because it's, like, everyone's under the same stars, but, like, it doesn't even feel like it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I really loved that, but it's kind of, like, ominous? Ominous, yeah. It's kind of ominous sounding, but, like, he's just saying, like, everything has structure, but he's not, like, fully content with it yet.
Yeah.
And that is the end of Man Alive. And I took some, like, final notes just over the whole album.
Go for it.
And overall, he's becoming closer to, like, contentment and, like, leaving as many doors open as he has, like, shut them. So it's, like, he's putting stuff in the past and he's, like, acknowledging that it's happened, but he's also ready to, like, move on and, like, create this new, like, happy life with, like, his new daughter. And, like, I think he's about to marry his girlfriend. I'm not exactly sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah, kind of cute.
After those songs, he was going to he
has to marry her. And it's also exploring the space between youthful heartache and adult devotion, which I don't really want to get into that, but it's, like, that's very apparent in the songs. Like, he's moving, like, as I said, he's moving forward and, like, becoming, like, this grown, like, man with a family who, like, he has to take care of. And I don't remember if I said this, so you might have to cut it out. But the album was recorded in the south of London. Even though he had recently moved, he, like, went back to London to record it. So it includes, like, the grimy and, like, I read this online, the sludgy.
The sludgy?
Yes. That's such, like, a British, like, the sludgy.
The sludgy.
But the sludgy sounds of, like, the south of London, like, because, like, it's the south of London. Like, it's dirty. Like,
he kept referencing it in, like, the first couple of songs, and I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no.
I mean, even with a P, I thought.
It's a park. It's called Peck and Rye.
Yes.
That's a park in London, yeah.
Yeah.
That's, like, the werewolf song, Comet Face, yeah. But, so, yes, it has, like, these, like, grimy, sludgy, like, dirty, I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but, like, dirty sounding, like...
Oh, yeah.
Background noises, because, like, that's where he's lived his whole life until he recently moved, so, like, he wanted to, like, still incorporate it. And honestly, Man Alive is, like, a very good successor to his previous album, The Ooze.
The Ooze.
Yes, The Ooze, which is good, but it's also kind of boring, so I don't know. But yeah, like...
So, on I'll just go through like my thoughts that I was listening, like the first time that I was listening to it. So like I already mentioned, I mentioned a couple things that I have in my notes here, but I was a big fan of the sound from the get-go. Like I love the instrumentals, like everything.
I was very nervous when you texted me and said like I'm listening to it tonight. I was like, he's going to hate it.
Because I'm not even gonna lie, because because literally I don't know him outside of you. And a couple months ago, you gave me like a few songs.
I gave you the song, oh my god, what is it called? A Lizard State. I told him to listen to the song A Lizard State, which is from his first album, 6 Feet Beneath the Moon. And he said, I don't know anything he's saying. He's like, I can't understand a word he's saying.
Yeah, I listened.
My heart was kind of broken.
I listened to like the first like 45 seconds and turned it off.
That is such a good song, though.
I didn't even bother with the rest of them, honestly, that you sent me. But
yes,
like,
so I was honestly very terrified that you were going to hate it, and I was going to be like super embarrassed.
Oh man, I was like, I'm not even going to lie. As soon as I was like, I know this guy from somewhere, and I started listening to it. I was like, oh, it's this guy.
It's this guy. The heavy accent guy.
Heavy accent boy from Britain.
Yes, British ting.
But honestly, though, I really enjoyed it. So
I'm so happy to hear that.
I'll just tell you, my listening to it for like the first time when I got to the very end, I gave it like a 6.3 out of 10. And the reason No. You can't give whole numbers as ratings.
I mean, no, but 6.3 is
Let me explain why. Okay. The only reason I gave it a 6.3 was because I couldn't understand lyrics or anything like that. Now, like, I'm one of those people where it's like, yes, I love sound and melody to death, but I also need some substance to go with it. Even if it's, like, not even, like, the best of substance, like mumble rap or anything like that. So long as it has me feeling some type of way, I will like the song. But the only reason, because it's like, because the way that I rate music is like...
You rate music?
Rate.
I thought you said right. I was like, what?
No, I wish I was talented enough to write. I've only written one cover in my life, and it was not good. But so the way that I rate music is, I was just like, I don't like 5 is like the middle of the pack, like it's average, so it's between like 1 and 10. So I don't know why people don't think that 5 is average. But anyways, but
what do people think average is?
I don't know. It's just like if you like rate somebody.
I feel like people always say average is like 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's
weird.
That's
because they don't want to be mean. They don't want to be mean.
But so the reason I gave it like 6 to me would be like an above average album. And the reason I say it's above average is because I really like the sound. Like when I was listening to it, it kept giving me like Marilyn Manson vibes strictly because of like how like intense he was sounding. Not so much the actual sound itself. Yeah. But like the thing, I love Marilyn Manson. I love his music. His new album is also really fucking good, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But it gave me like the slightest Marilyn Manson vibes. But like I said, like when I was listening through it, I don't want anybody thinking that 6.3 for my initial rating is bad, because I think that's like a good rating, especially.
That's better than what I expected, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, no, because I legit enjoyed the album. I enjoyed listening to it, and I was like, this is definitely, because like if it's like higher than a 5, it's something that I would definitely go back and listen to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like when. It's just like if I'm looking through, I was like, I need something to listen to. Don't want to listen to my playlist. I'll listen to the album. That if I come across that, I will definitely listen to it again.
Okay.
Going back through and listening to it again, and then having to do have you give me like a full synopsis on the whole thing. It makes me enjoy it a lot more and stuff like that. And actually looking up some of the lyrics. So like, if I'm being honest, it's like I do for the past 5 years, I've always done a top 5 projects or top 10 projects. This would probably make it on for 2020. Honestly.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be on the Twitter post.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I would definitely say it's part of that because I really fucking enjoyed the sound.
And it's just so different. I feel like it's very different from what you typically listen to.
Definitely. I would say when it comes to music that I listen to, I definitely gravitate more to hip hop and R&B.
Yeah.
And I will listen to other things and and other genres of music and stuff like that. But if if this is like me like 2 months ago and I see that this King Krule person released an album and it's just like I'm like I like because if it's like an artist I've never listened to before, I'll like skip around, like listen to like the first couple licks of a song and then and it's like I probably wouldn't have listened to it, but
no.
Yeah. Some specific things that I liked. It was like what song was it? It was on Comet Face. I'm a sucker for like instruments, so when that saxophone and the bass hit, I fucking was all like, okay, saxophone. I love the saxophone, and then like it like cut back to the bass, and I was like, okay,
yeah, so sexy for that.
I know, I was.
There's definitely like a lot of hints of like jazz in it.
I know,
which like I never like listen to jazz music. I'm not like 70, like I don't listen, but it's very like fun.
Yeah. I was loving it a lot, and then we talked about The Dream a little bit. One of the reasons I did like The Dream so much is I really love that piano outro, because piano is probably like one of my favorite instruments to like play.
So would you say that's one of your favorites?
I would probably say it's up there, yeah, honestly.
I was thinking about marking it, but I was like, I'm gonna hold off.
It is definitely up there. I think it might be like my third favorite.
Okay.
But like I said, like that album like definitely like
it
took me by
out.
surprise. It took me by surprise because I didn't have the highest expectations going into it.
I know you didn't, because when I told you, you're like, so you're doing the King Krule album, right? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. But
and I knew that you like didn't necessarily like, oh my god, necessarily like him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna put him on.
Yeah. It's because it's like when somebody tells you to go listen to a song, it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, they probably like it. It was like, am I actually going to like it? Are they telling me to listen to it because I'm going to like it? Or whatever the case may be. But I genuinely was taken by surprise, and I really enjoyed the album.
I'm glad to hear that.
The second listening, I was able to like vibe with it a lot more too.
Yeah.
Especially getting some lyrics under my belt. But I think like the if you want to guess, what do you think my favorite song is?
Okay, I marked some. But I don't think they're right. After like, I don't know. After
just shoot, and then I'll tell you.
Okay, well, Comet Face.
That was my favorite. Yes.
Really?
It was. I fucking loved that. I went back and listened to it after I was done with the album.
That.
But I guess my second one because I bet you don't know it. If you know it, I will fucking give you $5.
Okay, I'm kind of nervous.
Because I was.
Is it Theme for the Cross?
You're really close. It's Please Complete the.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm not even... So, like, when I was doing... So, like, I was trying not to, like, play an Xbox, watching anything or anything like that. Just listening to the album. And then, like, I was just, like, doing, like, replying to people, like, on my phone. Yeah. I started doing, like, the Widget Smith. I was, like, for iOS.
Yes,
yeah. I was, like, putting...
iPhone
like
7. I don't know what that is.
Poor ass. But I was playing with the widgets. I was making like a photo album of like pictures that I want to see, like swipe through on this widget, and then I started coming across like a bunch of old photos of somebody, and it started making me feel some type of way, and like he was like talking about please complete. I was like tearing up, like I was I was getting choked up. I'm not even kidding on that. Like it was like I was feeling some type of way.
He was not even kidding, guys.
I was feeling some type of way. I was all like, holy shit!
It's a good song.
Yeah.
It's a very sad way to end that.
I know, that's why I was feeling some type of way, because it was like, okay,
there's nothing to pick up from.
Yeah, it's because it was just like, I was just like, okay, so like this, like, because in my head I was like, okay, so this is the point where the album like turns into something else, to where he is like, you know, like a little bit more happy, upbeat and stuff like that, and then he ends it on like, I'm like, okay, bro, like, why you gotta do me like that?
Yeah, like, don't leave us hanging like that.
Leave me hanging, leave me in a goddamn fit. That's why I had to go back and listen to Comet Face, so I didn't feel so sad. You have to pick your
mood up. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Did you, like, have, like, not a meaning, but, like, did you know what Comet Face was about, or did you just, like the, like, did you get, like, the experience with, like, nighttime party people from that song? Or
not at first, no.
No.
Not at first. I looked up a couple of lyrics and I was like, this definitely has to be something to do with like
nighttime experiences.
Something like that.
Yeah, like honestly, I like enjoy that song, and listening to it is good, but not until like when I was like reading about or like researching the album, when I like read that, I was like, oh yeah, that's
why he's a werewolf.
Yeah, like that's why he's a wolf in the music video. But Okay.
Yeah. Like when it comes to like what I would give it the very and especially after hearing everything that you had to say about it, because you went full in depth. Like I like that a lot.
I needed to stick up for my album.
You really did, and like honestly, I feel like
it's underrated. But
I'm definitely not about to do mine justice. I can tell you that.
Oh my god!
But
I'm serious about King Krule.
I can tell it's like very nice too. It's just like when you're like passionate about like like anything in general, and it's just like it's like nice when it like shows through. But overall, I'd give it like I think like a 7.9.
That's good.
I liked it a lot. The only thing that keeps it from an 8 is just because like
his accent.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes like honestly I feel like most of the time I'll be good to like listen to it, but if I'm like not in like the best of mood, like I can almost listen.
You're just gonna be like pissed off. You're like, what is he saying? It's just like I would say majority of the time I would be in a mood to like listen to it like whenever, but I understand that because it definitely is a lot, but I've been listening to him for a while, so to me it's like, oh, like that's his sound, but like
that's his sound.
For a new listener it'd definitely be like, what the hell, like he is rambling about something and I have no idea.
They throw a couple of those songs into like a playlist though, like Comment Face, and then like the sad songs into my sad playlist.
Yeah, please complete the.
Of course.
Did you have like how many favorites would you say you had? Like, or is it just those two?
Let me pull up the track list because I think it was definitely like 3, like those 3.
Okay, because I'm very like, and I want you to guess mine because I'm very like. You're kind of throwing me off.
I would say Perfecto.
Miserable.
Yeah. From the way that you talked about it, yeah. I would have guessed Stoned again, like, but without hearing anything like that you had said. If I were to like guess like blindly, I would have said Stoned again because that's what I was thinking in my mind.
That one is underlined as one of my favorites.
Wow.
There's a part where he starts saying like, I don't want to like curse, but he was.
I put the advisory on the.
Okay,
thing.
good.
Yeah.
He says he's like talks about like, I got a scratched card. I scratched so hard because I'm feeling fucking lucky. Yeah, I'm feeling so lucky. Yeah.
Wow.
And like he's like shouting at you, and it's like, I like just like scream it. Like if I'm in my car, I'm just like. Oh, it's so good. Like, you really have to, like... That's such a good song.
I was thinking about that because, like, I'm not going to... Like, when 6ix9ine comes on in my car, I will turn the music up. And I was thinking, like, for a couple of these songs, I was like, if any of these songs come on and I'm in my car by myself, I would probably do this. It's
being turned up.
He seems like one of those artists for me, like... Off the top of my head, 6ix9ine, Marilyn Manson, and depending on which Kanye song.
Yeah.
Like, but he's definitely one of those artists that gave me, like, the vibes that I'm like... I'm going to go.
Yes. Now, Stoned Again, up there.
Yeah.
Cellular, for me. I really enjoyed the, like, background noises in that song. And, like, the way his voice sounds.
Yeah.
And then, Alone Omen 3, but that one's, like, very low.
That's, like,
my least favorite out of my favorites.
Yeah. Like I said, like, the only reason I remember the title for that one is because of the transition. So I was, like, so that's, like, probably up there for me because I really like the transition. I love transitions between songs.
Airport, Antinatal Airplane. I just think that one's so fun to like listen to, and I think it's very cute. And then Underclass.
Yeah.
I love Underclass. That one's so beautiful.
Yeah. Instrumentals are a big part for me, especially because like I have certain playlists that are based like solely like on how good the instrumental is. Like I could care less if they say like 2 fucking words in the song. But like this is like there are definitely like a handful of songs that I would add to like
He's very instrumentally focused.
And I love that so much. Just because like he's instrumentally focused and like he also, but at the same time, it doesn't like sacrifice from the lyrics. Like there's still lots of substance in the lyrics that you can take from and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why I
enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it a lot more than how I thought I was going to.
I marked for you. I thought your favorites were going to be Airport, Antinatal Airplane, but then when I was like talking about it, I was looking at your face and like you were not that excited.
I was kind of like. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
I love that. Cool. I was, like, definitely expecting you to like that one, but also because I was not expecting you to like his intenseness, I guess. I like
intense music. That's like I said, like that's why I was getting like Marilyn Manson vibes because it's like if you listen to like almost any sort of Marilyn Manson like or an album by him, there's like always like a shit ton of intense songs, and that's one of the reasons I fucking love him.
Okay, I wish I like thought about that because there's like no way he's gonna like any of those. And then I said Underclass only because I think that's the best song on the album, so I was like, he has to like that one. But also, I don't think you...
I liked Underclass.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's good to hear.
But yeah, if you're... I kept thinking about this, so I wanted to have this in mind. It was like, when I go and like talk about this with you, I was like, I want to try to like have like something in mind of like an artist to compare him to, but I can't think of anybody. I only mentioned like he gave me like Marilyn Manson vibes, but only because of the intensity. But other than that, I can't think of anybody.
He's so different, and that's why I like him so much.
I love that because it was just like I can't compare this guy to anybody.
Yeah, and that's why it's like it's just like fun to listen to because it's like you can't like find that anywhere else.
Oh yeah, and that's like.
It's like, that's awesome. King Krule. Yeah, like, that's what I want to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. He's definitely, like, he's top 5 favorite artists for me.
What would you rate the album?
I would probably rate it, like, a 9. 9.5, like...
yeah, we don't do whole numbers here.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't... Like, 9.5, like... Only because there are definitely some songs where I'm like... like, I don't really want to listen to those, but...
Would you say top project of 2020 for you so far?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
And that's Man Alive, everybody.
Alright, so I'm ready to hear about your album.
Alrighty, so my album, I feel like, you know, I feel like a lot of people know the artist, Black, Free Black, which is his first project. Apple Music classifies it as like R&B and soul. It's a little bit. It's more of a blend of like hip hop and
I thought it was hip hop and R&B.
Yeah, it's definitely way more than that. But you know, Apple Music knows all. So the reason that I picked Black's first project is because this came out the fall of my senior year. I had to like correct myself when I originally told you. It came out the fall of my senior year, which is 2016, 2017. It's like November, I think.
Okay, so I was in 8th grade.
Wow. That's insane.
You're old.
Yeah, I know. Fucking old head over here. But I didn't get into this until like a couple months after, because I remember I had like just like fucking random money from iTunes and shit, so I just like back when you had to like
using iTunes.
Exactly. That's
so funny.
That's how old I was. But yeah. So I just didn't have anything in particular I was like wanting to like listen to or any like none of my artists I like had released anything in a while, so I was just like, this is like the 3rd rated R&B album right now, so I'll get this. And
you bought the whole album?
Yep.
That's so risky, I feel like. That's like $11.99, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a different time back then, I'm telling you. But yeah, and then like instantly I was into it from the first track onwards because like Never Know, that is a really fucking good song. Like,
that's the first song, right?
Yeah, it's the very first song.
I took notes over everything.
Yeah, I know you did. I see you with your scraps of paper over there. But it's because like, so I already been mentioning the point about how I'm big into instrumentals and stuff like that. And I also kind of got like the vibe. For me, it seems like he also doesn't sacrifice too much substance from the lyrics, at least for most of the songs that I like personally. And I started looking at reaction videos like when people were like first started like.
I love doing that.
Yeah, like
reaction videos to your favorite albums or like just albums. It's like if they start talking like badly about it, I like immediately dislike and click off. I'm like, no.
Yeah, because every fucking person thought they were so funny because they knew his name was Black, but they're all like, "Oh, all y'all guys were telling me to listen to Six Lack over here." They were calling him Six Lack on purpose, and I was like, "No, you know it's Black." So because they even were saying it's like put some respect on his name. But then as soon as Never Know, literally every single person's demeanor wholly changed.
They like stopped like shitting on him.
They stopped shitting on him. They start like I think most started like switch. Okay, you're black. You're black. I was like fuck you, dude. But,
disrespectful as life. Oh my god.
But dude, like I said, came out my senior year, and I had shit to do my senior year. Like honestly, I just fucked around in school most of the time. So, and I'm big into this album. I researched the hell out of this album. Most of the research I did on it is like brushing up on it. But the reason that it's the B in black is shaped like a 6 is because it's from the 6th district or something like that.
Of Atlanta?
Of Atlanta, yes.
Yes.
Which, I don't know if you've ever seen this video, but there's a very old video of him and Young Thug rap battling when they were teenagers. You've never seen it? He bodied the fuck out of Young Thug.
Did he really?
Yes.
King, yeah.
I know. But so the reason that that he titled it Free Black had to do with the fact of, you know, he's finally free from this really shitty record deal that he got put onto, which I learned was actually with Flo Rida's record company.
So, okay, his record label wasn't, like, making songs, though, was it? Because, like, was he just, like, writing music?
He was writing, producing, like, doing all this other shit for
okay. I was gonna say, because, like...
for other artists, and they weren't letting him release any of his shit. And
okay,
that's
what I was like...
Yeah.
Because I didn't really, like, look into that, because it's like, I'll let Jared do that. But,
yeah, so then, okay. when he finally was able to get out of that and got with a record company that actually, which I don't know who he signed with, in all honesty, this was, like, Free Black, you know, because he's free.
He's freed, yep.
Do whatever, like, he can, like, finally release his music and all that other jazz. For you and I were talking a little bit before, you know, this is a good album. There's a couple of songs on there that we particularly don't necessarily like or, like, you know, skip. There's a couple of skips on here for me, and yours was just, like, a couple, like, flat out, like, I don't like this, which is understandable, because I don't know if I say... I'm like in between on whether I like this album of his or East Atlanta Love Letter more. Like, the tones are definitely different. This is much more of a darker album, which definitely fits with more of, like, the kind of music that I'm into and really vibe with. But like I said, from the get-go with Never Know, because, like, literally, like, as soon as, like, it keeps going, like, you know how it starts off, it's like the what?
My like note for it is I like the eerie instrumental. Yeah.
So like that's what hooked me in and kept me going. Yeah. And then from the first line where he just goes ham, where he goes like, I know a lot of people, but I don't fuck with a lot. I feel like who can't relate with that? Yeah. It's like a lot of, especially like the bad bitches like us, like we know a lot of people, but we fuck with them? No, we don't fuck with them.
That's such a Jared lyric.
It honestly is. I was thinking that when I do. I was like, this is a me lyric. But it was like one of the research that I did not know when I went back through and like re-researched the album. He's talking about being homeless in this song. I didn't know he was homeless at all. That's kind of insane.
Yeah.
Because like
was it like before or after the record label thing?
It was like while he was still trying to get signed to that record label. Because I knew he was in a bad place beforehand, but I didn't know it was to the point where he was homeless. Because like financially he was going from like place to place and stuff like that. Because he had like a whole website that he dedicated to all this stuff, but like I didn't know that he was like full on homeless. And I think that's where he draws like a lot of the inspiration to this album, is the fact of he knows what it's like to like he's struggled like most of his life because he didn't grow up in a very like a wealthy family and stuff like that. But the reason that he keeps going which is like the point that he tries to make throughout the whole album, I would say, is like to get out of that record deal, to get his music out so he can make more money, provide for his girlfriend, provide for his on-the-way baby.
Both of our albums have babies on the way.
And he mentions that in the first verse. He says
something like,
he said, old label wasn't talking about nothing. I like fuck around. You want to make me push a button, go on, you blanks.
I feel like there's like, I don't know if it's in this song, but there's a song where he's like, I do this shit for my baby.
Yeah, I do this. Yeah, they think that paper gonna change me. I do this shit for my baby. We just go back like wrecking the motherfucking A's. This flow is crazy. Yes, that's why I like him, because like because other songs that I've listened to by him, he's definitely a R&B artist, but he has a sick fucking flow, which is I feel like a lot of R&B artists, like you just know them and they're famous for their R&B, but they actually got fucking flows and shit like that. So that's why. But from Never On, I listened the whole album all the way through. So that song that I was talking about was like I thought I really liked it, and then it turns out like I put it in my playlist and I ended up skipping it a lot. It's called Rules. He was like, "Working on my rules." That song.
I wrote down for that song, I said, in all caps, beat, because I really liked the beat of it.
I really liked the beat too, which is why I think I liked it, but I think the lyrics in that one just weren't...
I said good vocals, but repetitive.
Exactly. I think that's why, because I like choruses and stuff like that, but if they're too, like...
If it's too, like... just, like...
Yeah.
uncreative. It's like, okay, like, we get it.
Yeah.
What else?
Like with that song, it really he wasn't really talking about like there wasn't too much substance behind this one. He's talking about becoming free from the label still. I feel like Never Know was kind of like an intro to like the whole to the album as a whole, to like what like all like he's planning on talking about and stuff like that. And with the Rules, it was just specifically talking about the label itself and then becoming like free. Like once he's free from this, he's setting a list of rules for him to abide by. Okay. So I mean, like for that,
it's okay. Cool, but it's just like I don't know.
And then this is probably the most popular song.
I knew this song before. I didn't like remember the name of it, but I heard it and I was like,
Problems.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Problems. Very good song. This is one of the songs that, if I'm not mistaken, I think he released it before the album. Yeah. And then it's like kind of got big, kind of not really.
Yeah.
It's like it's something if it's like you listen to the genre of music, you probably heard it.
Or it's like if you play the song, people would hear it, but like they definitely like didn't like.
Yeah.
It's not like something they're like, oh, I want to play Problems. I want to put this on right now.
Yeah, which. I think I'm like the only person that I know that was like, oh, let me turn y'all into some black.
Yeah.
But with that one, that's so much as him, you know, like the girl that he is with now, or like it could have, I don't know. That's probably something that I should have researched more. Is like I don't know if he's talking about a girl he was with or the girl he's with now, saying that, you know, I don't like the way that you are now. You know, you don't like. He's like. You know, like, you seem a lot more materialistic than when I first fell for you. Don't want to, like, you don't want to do anything except, like, go out and, like, use all my money and shit like that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I can't relate to. But he's acknowledging that he's the reason for that because, you know, you've heard the term, put that pussy on a pedestal.
Yes.
And he did that with this girl, but it to the point where it backfired, and it's like, you know, it's like
now she's just kind of like using him.
Yeah, just using him, which it like sucks because you feel for him, because I feel like if you haven't yet, at some point in your life, somebody's going to use you.
Yeah,
I feel like most of us have at this point, but so that's what he's talking about with this song, and. Like I said, it's like a big song when it first, like, I don't know if it first came out. I don't know when it blew up, in all honesty, but it's a very good song. Definitely, like, the most popular, I would say.
Yeah.
One of, like, my, he did, like, a Rap Genius thing, which is, like, honestly, like, where I did, like, a lot of research for your album and my album, where he, like, explains, like, the reason, where he explains, like, deeper meanings behind, like, stuff like that, and... I'm sad that he shaved his hair because he had really cool hair when he did this interview, but he's saying that, like, you know, he has plenty of queens in his hometown. All they need is drink and that dank. So it's like he's like
I could get any bitch.
It's like I could, like, you know, like I could replace you. The reason that I think he is talking about like a former like fling is because, you know, it's like. He's talking so like I have a new thing. I'm not as lost as you think. So like I'm assuming that this
it's not about.
But like I said, I don't know if it is or if it isn't. But like it makes me feel like that this may have been like his first love or something like that. Because like I don't know. That's just what I gathered from that song. And then Free, which is what the album is, you know, it's not, I want to say it's like the main
theme.
It's like that's the name of the next song. It was just like I don't know how, like, I don't know if it has like any like sort of like thing about it at all, but like any sort of deeper meaning. It's just like girls showering him with like affection. This is from Genius because I didn't really look this song up too much. But then I was listening. I listened to both their albums today, and I went back through and I actually was like, wait, why didn't I research this song? Because this is actually a pretty good song, I thought.
No, I liked this one, and I wrote down that it had like a different tone than the previous three.
Exactly.
I said it was like, I put in parentheses, I said slower.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said it was a good breakup song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I must have been fucking doing something because like when we were doing like that planning and stuff like that, like I listened to my album and then like a day or two later I listened to yours, and then like today I was going back through. I kept like periodically like listening to like certain songs and stuff like that I wanted to like research.
I did the same
thing. I don't know why I didn't research this one because I enjoyed this one like when I listened to it today. And I don't want to say, like, a lot of, like, songs started getting, like, repetitive, I would say. Because, like, I would say, like, the next, like, 2 or 3 songs, like, Learn Ya, MTFU, Loving You, they're kind of too basic for me. Were any of those songs, like, the ones that you hated?
No.
No.
But I didn't hate them, but it also wasn't, like, stand out to me just because I found, like, listening to it, I just like these all like kind of sound the same to me.
That's how I feel about them.
Because like I was listening to it in order and I was just like, did the song even like change? I was like,
yeah, like I said, Learn Ya, MTFO, Loving You are like, those are kind of like those like songs I was talking about. So it's like the certain part of the album, which like the album to me starts off really strong, and then to me it finishes really strong too. But it's like those 3 songs, which I don't classify as like the whole middle of the album. I don't know. So
I marked MTFU with stars, meaning like it was one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah, I honestly like don't remember what it sounds like because I listened to it like the same night we talked. Mm-hmm. But like if I marked it, I liked it. So
wow, probably should.
I said I liked the beat and delivery. And I said it was like an apology, which I appreciated.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's like right.
He's he cheated on his girl with her friend, so this is what the song is about.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Wow.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, so maybe now we know why she is that way and problems. Like,
She has yeah. What's the word? Justification.
Yeah. To me, the album picks back up with Getting Old and then so forth. So like
I marked Getting Old as a favorite.
I think this is a really good one, you know, because
I said I appreciate the different sound in it. I don't really remember what that means because I don't remember the different sound, but
for me, it had to do with the actual like lyrics behind it, because I've been in this situation before where it's like there's like a girl you're like really into, but she's with somebody else, but you know you're better than them.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. That's why like I think this is where it starts getting like. So it's like, it's getting old. It's like, I keep falling for, like, girls that don't see the worth in themselves, and I see the worth in them, and, like, I know I could be better than what they have currently, but they don't. So it's just getting old, like, falling for the same kinds of, like, situations.
I think the different sound that I was talking about, I put island-type beat. So it was a little islandy, yeah.
But yeah, that's why...
Island-type beat.
But yeah, that's why I, because it kind of like, because, so that's like the main theme behind the song, but for me, like the deeper meaning that goes into it is like, you know, I put myself in that, and it's kind of like being like a lack of your own self-worth. Like, it's like, when you see, I feel like when you come across somebody and you're like, oh, they have a boyfriend, or oh, they have a girlfriend, like, okay,
like,
I should move
off.
on. Yeah, I should move on. And then it's like, you can't control who you, like, fall for and stuff like that. I get that. But, like, at the same time, then you see, like, a certain, like, okay, I know for a fact I can't, like, get with you. But, like, when you go as far to the point where it's like, I want to be with you, I want you to leave who you're being with, I feel like that, I take that as there's, like, a devaluation, or you're devaluing your own self-worth. Like, because it's like, because obviously it
like,
doesn't have
you can't just, like, move on.
Yeah, because you can't just move on, and, like, obviously, like, this one doesn't have, like, a happy ending because it's getting old.
Yeah, I said wanting love to work, but it won't.
Yeah, and it's fucking, like, there's no worse feeling in the world than trying to make something like that work, but it can't because of the other person involved, or whatever the circumstances may be. There's, like, honestly, like, not a worse feeling in the world than that at all. So, that's why I think the album, like, picks back up right there. The main reason that I, said that is because the next song after that is X Calling, which is...
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's Worst Luck.
Oh, Worst Luck? Oh, fuck.
I hated that song so much.
I like the message behind it. I won't lie, but I didn't like the sound. I did not like the sound.
I said piano, ... Why? And then I said least favorite so far. It's so cringe.
I'm kind of like in the same boat as you. I'm like, it's kind of cringy and like
I remember when it started playing, I was like scratching my head. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, so
you just forgot it. You were like,
because it's kind of like a song I want to forget. It's like, I don't particularly like the sound, but I like what he's trying to, like,
I don't even remember what he was
it.
trying to say because I couldn't get over the sound.
Yeah, that's how I was. But, like, I like, just, like, you know, I have the worst luck with love, and it's like, I feel like I have the worst fucking luck with love, honestly. Like, I don't know. That's why it resonated with me. But what? So you said like the piano behind it. It just like turned you off to the song entirely.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell is this doing on here?
Yeah, I definitely can see that, because for me, sometimes music can be like that when I'm like, just like the instrumental is just like doesn't like sound good to me, and so I'm just like,
especially because like this isn't like, I don't listen to R&B.
Mm-hmm. So
like it's not like a genre that I'm like typically drawn to. So then like I'm like listening to this new music, and then I'm like, what, like piano? Like I just was like, this is not like adding up to me. Like,
yeah. So I feel you on that. So like I don't.
So like I can say that is like my least favorite. Yes,
song.
I hated it.
Now
not
to the
hated it. That's mean.
Yeah. Now to my actual like where like X Calling. I fuck with this song so heavy.
It's so good.
I love it.
It reminds me. Freshman year, I went to a Lana Del Rey concert, and before the concert started, we were sitting like, it was in Chicago. It was the like United Arts Center, so it's like it's big, and they were playing this song, and I just remember like being so excited, and I was like, I know this song, and like waiting for like Lana Del Rey to perform, and like I don't know, it just reminded me of that because I hadn't heard that song since like freshman year. So then when it came on the album, I was like, holy shit, like I know this song.
Unlocked a memory for you.
Yeah. A core memory.
So the reason I like X Calling is because I'm a big fan of Future. Like he's one of like my favorite artists, because he's like just like a little side note for Future and me. It's like I love the fact that Future is like a he makes like makes like dummy good music. I would say it's like okay, I don't know how to, okay, I guess you're not familiar with that, but it's like he masquerades like funky beats, like cool beats and stuff like that with some pretty dark, depressing shit. Okay. But Perky Calling, which is the song that he sampled, like the beat, which is obviously about the Percocets calling me back because he's addicted and shit like that. That was like one of the first songs. It was not one of the first. It's like one of his best songs where it like it's dark lyrics matched with dark tones and like instrumentals. for Future. I'm still talking about
Oh,
Future. Sorry.
I was like...
Yeah, I went on a little... I love Future, sorry, but...
But I thought it was like an upbeat song. The background, like the instrumentals. Is it not?
No, what? It's
Oh,
kind of
is it not the
depressing.
same beat as X Calling?
It's the same beat. It's not upbeat.
Really?
I don't think it is. I don't consider... Like, at least, like, the way it starts, I don't consider it's like the... It's like a very, like, low part on the piano. It's like the bum, bum, bum. And then the beat picks... I don't consider that upbeat.
I don't know why I think it is. Maybe it's just because I, like... The first time I heard it, I was, like, so excited for, like, a concert. So I was just like, any song is good right now.
Okay, I guess I can see your point on that. But, I mean, like, it's fast-paced, but, like...
Yeah, maybe it's just the fast pace is throwing me off.
Yeah, but I consider it, like, a dark beat.
Okay.
We could have different
opinions. That's embarrassing for me.
We could have just have different opinions on that, but...
Maybe.
Anyways, so he sampled that song, used that, and did X Calling, and, he has X calling him while he's trying to like move on and stuff like that. For me, I like the way that he is like starts up the song. He's like 3 a.m, my phone's on do not 3 a.m, I'm on do not disturb. My last little fling and put that shit in the dirt. Like, and then he like pays a little homage to the original song, but he goes on to keep talking about like why the fuck is my ex calling? Because like honestly, who doesn't have that reaction to like when your ex like texts you like why the fuck are you on my line? Like we're done. It's like unless you're still friends with your ex, but like but anyway, but yeah, like it's like it's because because this is kind of like the transition in the album where it starts kind of like he's starting to get fame, like a little bit, it's like money off like fame and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, you're up next, and I'm like, so hey, let me give you a call. And it's like in reality, like you fucked me over. But,
don't call me.
Yeah, don't call me. You fucked me over, and like now we're at the point where it's like, why the fuck are you like hitting me back up? Because I'm like about to make all this fucking money, see the world, and all this other shit. It's like no, I'm like I have like a. Like, I moved on. I have a girlfriend, a child, and all this other shit, but it also I feel like it also kind of plays back to getting old, but, like, the roles are reversed in that case, and, but it's, like, not, like, the same thing. It's, like, she wants to get back with him for the wrong reasons when he wanted her. He
wanted her for, like, the right reason and, like, to be with her, and she just wants, like,
fame,
money, fame, clout, to be like, I'm dating... Like the next star.
Yeah. And then the album ends. I told you to listen to the deluxe version,
I did.
But the 11. There's originally only 11 tracks. Those 3 songs, like Glock 6, In Between, on One Way. Excuse me. At the those like last 3 songs, those are singles like added like over a year later.
Okay. But
the album ends, which I don't know if you picked this up with. Alone / EA6, which is East Atlanta 6. It's basically like 2 songs in one.
Yes.
And I fucked with that, like, because, it was like, when you're at the point where you're trying to accomplish something that you want to get to, for him, this would be him trying to get, like, a record deal, sign with somebody so he can get paid to, like, do what he loves, It feels like you almost alienate yourself from other people, isolate yourself in hopes of completing, like, the dream that you had set out for yourself, or something along those lines, And then, like, it switches up to, like, like, enduring that. Like, he says, I think it's, like, summer 2006, I almost lost my faith in God. At the same time, I never prayed
the
so
talking?
hard. Yeah. It's like at the very end, like...
Yeah. Or that wasn't the end. I thought it was, like, in between the 2 songs.
In between the 2 songs, and he's like, I'm from East Atlanta.
Honestly...
play that shit, yeah.
Like... I don't know. I kind of found the talking to be boring, only because, like, I don't have this, like, love for Black, so it's like, I don't really, like... Not that I don't care, but it's just like, oh, like, I'm not gonna, like, listen to him, like, spit about something if I'm not that, like, invested in it. Yeah. But I thought it was, like, a cool way to, like, separate the 2 songs, and then, like, he, like, went from talking to, like, going into the next one, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then, like, so at the very end, it's, like, it's like the very end sound is him is what like the almost like the start of Never, but like it's like the sound is like tweaked a little bit. It's like I don't know, it seems a lot more distorted, and then it's just like gets like really high pitched, and then like the album ends. So that's where like
I said bad ending.
You didn't like the ending, but you like the opening to Never.
What's Never?
Or Never Know. Never Know, sorry.
Oh, so it's like re-looping. Oh, I didn't get that.
Well, yeah, I told you to listen to the deluxe version. The only reason I said the deluxe version is because the songs with Banks and T-Pain are really good songs, and I felt like, you know, like they're worth listening to because they had like good sound and good.
Oh, see, I didn't know that, so I was like, bad
yeah,
ending.
I probably should have mentioned that. So that's probably a blunder on my part, but like that's basically like the album, like it's like a
loop.
Not like an exact loop, but kind of, because it's like noticeably different. It's like because like for the splits for like the first time you're like, wait a second, I know the start of this. Like if it's like your first time like, listening through, it's like, wait a second, I know this, and then it starts into the next and like would like restart, but yeah, I guess that could really I won't talk about the
deluxe versions.
I won't, because I feel like after listening to like all of you like talk about all that, like it seems like I should have just like had you like seconds like, but if you do like it, then you listen to the deluxe version of the final 3 songs. So, and unless you have notes on them that you wanted to talk about.
Well, none of them were like standouts to me.
Fair enough.
So like, we don't have to.
Yeah.
I will say, when I was looking at the track list, I was very like excited for Glock 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then it like really let me down.
Really?
Because I thought it was going to be something I thought it was going to be, like, something different. And I even said, I was like, this is not what I anticipated with the title.
I can see that.
I thought it was going to be more, like, it's like a lovey song. And I was expecting it to be, like, hard. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's how I was with a couple of songs on this album, I would say. Like, when I first, like, listened to it for, like, the first time. Because, like, it, like... You know, like genuinely, like, looking... Because I would go back and play the album and listen to it and stuff like that, but I would never, like, look at it, like, in-depthly, like, as like, we did, like, this past, like, few days or so. And it kind of, like, it kind of did, like, unlock some memories for me, I would say. But, like, thinking as, like... Especially with, like, Loving You. Because I thought I was going to, like, really fuck with that song first listening.
And then you, like, didn't?
I was like, it's not... bad, just not really good. Yeah.
Well, I will say, my first listen, I was definitely like kind of bored.
Mm-hmm.
Only because it's like I don't even listen to that genre, and then like not that all the songs like sounded the same, but like they all were very like similar and like instrumentals, and like that's just not something I like typically grasp to, because like I have to be like like what's the word, like stimulated? Not that word though. Like
unique word choice, I would say.
Like when I said, I was like, never mind. But like I have to be like, it has to be differentiated.
Yeah. And
they all sound very similar. And I said that I like kind of wanted more from it. Not that I disliked it, but it was just like,
it's just like you want more from it.
Yeah. So I would rate it at like a 5.7 probably, like first listen, but after like hearing about it more, I've definitely like it a little more, and like want to like go back and listen and like remember why I wrote notes down.
Yeah.
So like after your explanation, I'd probably give it like 6.5.
That's fair, I would say.
Yeah, because it's like this isn't even like a genre I'm typically drawn to.
Yeah.
So like it would be hard for me to like love it anyway.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I was glad that I like listened to it and like have it like under my belt.
Yeah, it's because the reason that I picked this is because me personally, it's definitely one of like the most underrated albums to me, I would say, just because like he's a good artist. He like puts like a lot of like work and love into his craft, and like I feel like he can be multifaceted, like on other songs I've heard him in. Like he did like I think like a year ago today, like he Young Thug dropped like a 4-track like EP,
yeah.
and he was on it. He bodied the fuck out of his part on it. But
I'll have to listen to that.
I feel like the reason that I picked it, like one of the main reasons why, is because like I feel like it's something that people should at least listen to.
Yeah.
If you think that he is a talented artist, not so much even if you like him, just like because I can look at a couple artists and say like I personally don't like the music that they make and I don't want to listen to it, but I can recognize their talent as an artist.
Yes.
So
no, and he has like amazing vocals and like he's definitely like talented in that regard. Mm-hmm. It's just like it's not like my thing.
Yeah. I would have the reason that I'm like in between it is if Free Black and East Atlanta Love Letter between his two studio albums is because of these reasons why is because like I feel like East Atlanta Love Letter has like a little bit more of like a story to tell, and I'm a big fan of that stuff.
Yeah, like storytelling.
Yeah, which is something I like desired more from the album, I would say, but at the same time, you know, it's just like, you know, it's his first real crack at a studio album.
And he gave his best
go I think he gave one hell of a good like go at it. If I rated it, so like my rating for the album, like as it stands, has always been like fairly high. I would say it's like an 8.2.
Okay.
It's like I really enjoyed it because R&B is definitely like
your thing.
My thing, yeah. I'm a big fan of R&B. More of a fan of R&B than hip hop, but I'm still a big fan. I'm still big enough a fan of a hip hop to where like when he does like do like hip hop like verses or songs in this album, I appreciate it a lot because it's kind of like a little change up for me, at least in like pacing wise. Yes. But like, it's definitely like the reason that like it drew me in like all those years ago and still has me coming back is definitely because of the instrumentals. Because like I like the more like somber like effects and sounding songs.
And like a lot of my notes for each song was like good instrumental like.
Mm-hmm. Except for Worse Luck.
Yeah, except for Worse Luck, but all of them I have like a note like. Instrumentals are nice. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
I can honestly say the only R&B I listen to is like SZA. Mm-hmm. Do you listen to her?
I love SZA.
Yeah, like Control.
Of course.
Such a good album.
But yeah, I try to because the album because I was like thinking of like albums because I also wanted you to like it. And stuff like that because I have like underrated albums, so I was like I know if she wouldn't be into this kind of stuff, so I try to like do something else like in between like hip hop and rap, which I think is like a perfect in between.
No, like it was definitely like it wasn't like a bad album.
Oh yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like,
but it's also just like it's not like my sound.
Yeah, I understand that because like for you and I think you and I like have like similar tastes when it comes to like music, not sound though.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's like some of your like favorite songs like on Man Alive.
You were like not expecting them, but they weren't the same for you.
They weren't the same for me for different reasons.
Yeah.
Why? So that's where like our differences like show, I would say, like in terms of like music taste, but like or like sound taste, I would say, because like I said, I think like most of the songs on this album are like pretty like steady and chilled. Like none like really like, picked up, and the ones that did pick up weren't good. So sorry to say,
Ouch.
Black, if you're listening to this, not like
because he's ever gonna find this. What if he does?
I'll cry.
And he's like, I hate that Maria bitch.
I would cry so hard.
That'd be so funny. I'd be like, sorry.
Sorry, I still gave it like a 6.5 though.
It's gonna be like getting old. Because I'm going to want to be friends with him. And he's going to be like, I don't want you to be friends with me. I don't want you to be my friend.
It's coming on...
Is his name Ricardo Valentine?
Yeah. I never knew that.
Because when I looked at the lyrics while I was listening to the songs, and I was like, I do not see his name in, like, any of, like... Because at the end of Apple Music, it says, like, written by... And I was like, I do not see this guy's name. Like, did he even write any of this? But then... When you told me earlier that his name was Ricardo, I looked and I was like, I remember that name, like, being on there.
Yeah.
So.
And some cool things, because, like, if you looked at the album, the first thing that I noticed wasn't the bear, it was the fact that he was barefooted. on the album cover. I was
did
like,
not even notice that.
I was like,
why?
Why are you like barefooted? Like,
do you know why?
No, I don't know why. I don't think there's any reason for him being barefoot in it. She has his feet out. But the bear on the album cover is a real bear. I didn't know that. It's a real bear. His name's Bam Bam.
Crazy.
Black quoted it as he would walk in, look around, walk in the back to the trailer.
The bear?
Yeah. And did that for like
chill.
6 hours. I love that bear. I like that name too, Bam Bam. Bam Bam the bear.
That's cute.
But the reason for having the bear is because he's like his you know, like how like when you brand yourself, like when you're big enough and stuff like that, his like logo is like a bear or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And his name. Is this not the same person? Like, is there someone called Black Bear?
Yeah, that's
not the same person?
Some white dude, I think.
Okay.
He's
I was always very confused.
Black Bear, I think, is like a more drugged up, sadder G-Eazy. That's how I've never listened to his music, but that's just like how I perceive him.
I haven't either. I just know that like.
I know that like white girls love him. Yeah, they love him. Like
for no good reason.
I'm not going. Don't take this as me shitting on him, but it's just like from what I've observed.
Okay, G-Eazy, pack it up.
I fuck with G-Eazy though. Don't come for me on that, but I fuck with G-Eazy. He's got some good music. His first 2 albums, especially that first one, slaps.
I don't think I've listened to them.
I don't think you will either.
No. I think he's cringe.
White people made him cringe by overplaying his shit because he was a white rapper.
Yeah.
But he has good music. I will say that because I feel like most, like if you weren't a fan of G-Eazy before, if you became a fan because of Me, Myself, and I, and then I started looking up like all...
Yes, that song. Yeah. Oh my god.
But then I started looking up all those others, like, oh wow, his old stuff is like really fucking... It wasn't even that old, it's just the album before. But it's like similar vibes to like this album, I would say. So since like you give this like a 6.5, you'd probably give that one lower because it's got like the same like sound and stuff like that, but it's like G-Eazy rap. So not saying that like that's not its own form of rap, but it's his own kind of rap, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything you wanted to add about my album or add about your album?
I don't remember if I mentioned this, and also I don't know if you want to include it because it's kind of random.
Go for it.
But my album, King Krule has a brother, and he's like the one who does like his album art.
Mm-hmm.
So like they like worked on it together, and also King Krule paints. So like some of the albums were like hand painted.
No, that's like, cool. I like that.
Yeah, which is cool.
Also.
Let me find something.
I fuck with the fact that he paints and like does his own.
On the back
art.
of the Man Alive vinyl,
mm-hmm.
King Krule wrote Ollie, which I'm assuming is like a friend of his. He wrote, Ollie left a CD of his music at my house titled Man Alive in 2013. The title crept around the corridors of my skull, so I stole it. As one of the most important people I know, this music would not exist without him, and so on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a nice little...
What a nice guy.
At least they gave him credit for it. Most of it's like, yeah, it just came to me.
Man Alive just came to me.
It just came to me. When I hear Man Alive, I think of Schoolboy Q, Man of the Year. I don't know why, but that's just what I think of. Completely separate, but I don't know
what that is.
Yeah, it's a song, but it's a good song, but anyways, but I think it's a good little ending off point. I think this was a very good episode. A lot of content, especially on your end too.
Thank you. I wanted to be prepared.
Very prepared. Well, way more prepared than I am.
I was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't want to be underprepared.
Definitely, I feel.
As the first guest, I feel like I have a.
Oh, you knocked it out of the fucking park. I can tell you that.
Thank you. I was like, I have to like set the bar high.
You didn't set the bar high.
Good luck to anyone else that follows me, because you're never gonna be me. Just kidding. Don't put that in there. That is so mean.
Oh my gosh.
I'm talking to you, Jordan.
All right, but I appreciate everybody who tuned in to this podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here, Maria. I appreciate all the work that you did, too.
Of course, thank you
and
for...
turning me on to King Krule.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me. I needed to talk about this album to someone.
Gotta get the word out there.
Yes.
So, in case any of you have never...
heard of King Krule, give him a listen.
Give him a listen. If this is, like, if that's your... if after hearing us talk about it, if that's your kind of music, you would say, definitely give that motherfucker a listen.
Yes.
That is a good fucking listen.
That's a good man.
Yeah, it really is. But until the next UP, I'll see you guys when I see you guys.